I want to share a short story. Back in my early 20s, I remember watching cartoons in the living room, and blinds were open, and I could see my neighbors outside. And I thought nothing of it because at the time, and still kind of am, I was very introverted, and I had no intention of saying anything to them, getting to know their name, because at the time, I was agoraphobic. And if you don't know what that is, that's a fear of people. So, for some reason, my mother, when she came out into the living room and saw the neighbors outside, she decided to tell me that one of them was trans. And I didn't say this, but I remember thinking, why should I give a shit? I don't fucking care. I'm watching cartoons. That's what I thought in my head. Like, I ain't worried about them and what they're doing. They're just outside talking. I don't care. But my response to my mother, my audible response to her was something to the effect of, all right. Because I truly didn't give a shit. And quite honestly, beyond that, before this had ever occurred, I had resigned to the belief that if I don't know somebody, whatever their business is only their right to tell me. Because I don't like when my business gets told by people without my consent. So, on that note, I don't endorse telling other people's information without their consent. That trans woman did not consent to my mom telling me that she's trans. So, in a way, I kind of like I couldn't articulate it at the time, and it really didn't occur to me. But I was also kind of offended on her behalf. It's like, how dare my mom tell me someone else's business? Like, that's not cool. And part of me had wished that I would have said something to the effect of, "Hey, mom, I don't know them, and I don't think it's okay for you to be telling me stuff about them when I don't even know their name. Like, I don't think that's cool." I wish I had said something like that. And to all of you who are gonna think, "Oh, you want to disrespect?" Man, fuck you. Do you want to disrespect your mom, huh? You know, if correcting someone on understanding boundaries and consent is disrespect, then I will be as disrespectful as I fucking please. Because I believe in respecting people's consent and boundaries. All of this is to make the big point that I I'm genuinely partially disturbed by. And that is how often I see people not really going through introspection and really considering why they give a shit about anything that they feel concerned with giving their opinion on. Because too often, when it comes to these arguments over queer people, over women's rights, and you ask somebody, why do you give a shit about this when they're being negative about it? Like, why do you care if someone has an abortion? Why do you care if a man wants to have a relationship with another man, if a woman wants to have a relationship with another woman? If somebody does not see themselves as man or woman, or was born biologically male, or was, sorry, let me put it this way, was assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth, but doesn't identify with that gender, why do you care about it? And I know the answer. I genuinely do, because I've seen it far too fucking often. I've seen way too much to not notice a pattern and put a commonality together. And the honest answer is, if you're going to be honest, is that it upsets your norms. And because you're accustomed to your own norms and you don't want to see a deviation from it, you are not comfortable with a deviation from it, your response is to condemn it. If you're being honest with yourself, that is why you do it. That is why you give a shit. Because it's personally upsetting for you, because it doesn't fit the standards that you are used to. And you're a self absorbed prick. Now, maybe there's more you can add to that if you can answer why you give a shit about something. But that's a thing that I've noticed far too often. People don't seem to know, and when people are being really fucking negative about things, especially being negative towards any measure of positive progress, they haven't critically thought through their beliefs, their morals, their ideas to give a salient reason as to why they feel concerned with something. Because if they were going to be honest, they're going to learn some shit about themselves that they would rather stay quiet. Case in point, almost at every single RNC, that is a Republican National Convention, where they spew hateful garbage towards anyone that's not white or gay or trans or gender nonconforming. At every single one of these, the activity of the gay dating website, gay dating app called Grindr, goes so far up that they literally get the servers shut down through how much traffic goes through it. Now, if every single one of your queer hating Republican conventions sees an activity and gay activity, or sees gay activity go up, there's some cognitive dissonance going on there. And you don't seem to understand why something bothers you. And this is something that my aunt said once, and I don't know if she came up with it or she got it from something else, but it was one of the most profound things I've ever heard her say, which is typically what we don't like about other people is something that we don't like about ourselves. And as we've all come to know, every accusation from a conservative is just a confession. So, I end this with this question. Do you know why you care about something? Or are you just reacting?